Good morning, everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, once again coming to you from downtown Manila with our special segment, Stars on Spotlight. Guys, if you want to be a star on Spotlight, reach out. We do dozens of these this month, and the month's coming to an end very soon, but you've still got a chance. Remember, $30,000 for a TV commercial. If you wanted to do 10 radio spots, you're probably looking at $3,000 to $5,000. You can come on the show, and it's all about you for 15 minutes of fame, where we talk about your journey and how you can help people and what you've done in your life. We go through all of that, and we put that across LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube, with all your contact details there, and you'll be able to reach thousands of people throughout the world, and you never know where this might take you. So I'm going to now introduce my guest today. Is a lovely gentleman by the name of Bertram Daniel. His current role is a director and a licensed real estate agent. The company's got an awesome name. It's a Breeze Property Group. It's a Breeze. He's been in industry, real estate and property. He's only still learning. He's getting close. He's only done 48 years, guys. He's got a long way to go still. But he'll tell you, you learn every day in all types of business. One of his things, he'll tell you more about it. He's a vendor advocate, which means he helps you. He's a property advisor and, of course, property investment. With 48 years experience, guys, if you want to buy a property in Melbourne, this is the man to reach out to. His key achievements: he's a general manager, group manager, branch manager, and a top lister. I love his personal motto of philosophy: we are all one. Isn't that true, guys? We're all in this together, right? But remember, guys, no one's coming to save you. You got to save yourself. Don't ask people to save you. You got to save yourself. Interesting fact about himself: his journey of real estate career has been very interesting, coming from dealing with prospective clients without mobile phones, computers, emails, or social media. He's like me. He goes back to the day, guys. We used to go to a phone box to ring up our clients, guys. A phone box. Imagine that. You can't carry a phone box around, right? And you wouldn't watch the news on TV because there was no TV, guys, right? And so his contact information and business inquiries, we're going to promote him across all the different social media channels. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Bertram Daniel. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
I'm going awesome up here in the Philippines. It's more fun in the Philippines. You've got to come up and visit us sometime on your way to Sri Lanka.
Yes, it's a good place.
It is. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your career path those 48 years ago. How did that all come about?
Well, it's really interesting, Jeff, because I arrived in Melbourne in March 1973. And I was 25 years old, and I sort of asking around, and I got a job because of my experience from Sri Lanka. I got a job straight away. The next day I was pretty much working.
Wow.
And then, of course, I had people knocking on my door saying, oh, we want to sell you insurance and, sell you a car and all of that. So, cut a long story short, I ended up deciding to get into sales. And someone said, why don't you sell houses, property? I said, yeah, why not? So I applied for a job and I got the job. And I'm now in a suburb called Boronia, and it's a developing suburb. It was orchard areas, yeah. So that's how it started. And I don't know, I just loved it, and I just grew and grew. And then obviously I had people wanting to recruit me, but I stayed with the company that I started with.
That happens when you're good. They're always reaching out, aren't they? I had that issue too. They're always reaching out with special offers. Yeah, very
much so. And then, of course, I got again a bigger company with sort of, with a bigger name, so to speak. And it started from there. And then I ended up being the sales, the branch manager. And then I became the general manager. And, it just went on and on. And then
you worked your way up through the ranks.
Yeah. And then, funnily enough, I worked in quite a few different areas in Melbourne. And I got to know Melbourne very well. But I still remember my first time in Melbourne, driving up a one-way street thinking I'm in the city and I'm up at one respect, but there's a funny memories, you know. But
Sure.
and when I started in real estate, the amazing thing was if I look back now, there were no mobile phones, there was no computers.
That's
People
right.
came to the office to buy a house.
Yes.
Right? Or they rang up off the ads. The ads were not on social media. The ads were
No,
in the newspaper.
or yellow pages. Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah,
Or
the Age
signs on
newspaper.
poles.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, and then, I mean, they'd come to the office, we'll have a chat, jump in my car and go and have a look at a few. And sometimes we might look at 4 or 5, sometimes you might look at 3, depends.
Yes.
And that's how it went. And then as it's been such an amazing journey, because then I had a pager that was.
Oh, I remember the old pages. Yeah, they were awesome.
So I had to page, the office would call and make an appointment for me while I'm on the pager, asking the office to do that.
It's like Batman, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, you know, I got the mobile phone, which I used to carry on my shoulder.
Yeah, like a brick. Yeah, I remember the bricks, $2,000 or $3,000 each. I remember them very well.
Exactly. And I used to screw them into the car and have them sitting there as well in the car. And of course, I mean, it's been an incredible journey. But what I love about it is helping people, you know, see the big smile on their face when they get what they want.
On their journey. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Tell me, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work and how have you overcome that? What's been the most challenging part, do you feel?
The most, that's an interesting question, because the whole idea about real estate is actually getting the house to sell. Until you have it,
get the listing,
you can't sell it, right?
Correct,
so
that's right.
Agents are competing an owner who's thinking of selling will probably call 2, 3, 4 agents.
Yes.
So now you got to be the one to win that one.
Correct.
And so, unfortunately, I don't know, because I had a musical background as well, and I don't know whether I had an affinity, I suppose, to be fair, with people, because I've been on the stage since I was like 8 or 9 years old. So I don't know, I just got on really well. So once you get the property to sell,
yes,
the more you get to sell, the more money you make, or the more sales you make.
That's right.
That's how it works. So
yeah, and then the word over many years, the word of mouth builds up tremendously. Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, when you go into a property and someone's thinking of selling, you've got to be the one they choose.
Yes.
So selling is not telling, selling is asking questions.
I love it. The other thing too is very interesting, guys. Daniel will tell you this. People don't realize most people, believe it or not, move every 5 to 7 years.
Correct.
So keep in touch with your people and they'll come back for the next one. So it's not just one sale in a lifetime, as Daniel's had nearly 50 years in this, you know, he might have sold.
Bertram is the name. Bertram.
That's it. Yeah, well, he might
My
have sold.
name is Bertram. Daniel is the surname.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Bertram. Anyway, what he's done here, he might have sold some families 4 and 5 homes over that period.
Correct.
Right. In your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that you believe have contributed to your success over time?
To be a good person in this industry, you've, number one, got to like people.
Yes.
The sad thing is that it does attract people who like money.
Yes.
That's not what you should be motivated by. You should be motivated by helping people, you know, because once you do that successfully, the money will come anyway. So,
correct. That's right.
I mean, and I suppose, and now I've morphed into becoming a vendor advocate. So, because after about 30 years in the industry selling property and listing and selling, as they say, listing and selling property, I was surrounded sometimes by people that I didn't like, because I didn't like the fact that they were manipulating the vendors.
Bad ethics. Yep.
Yeah, bad. And there's they did it in such a way to try and squeeze more of a commission out of the deal, which again, I didn't like at all. So I
Yes.
left and became a vendor advocate so I could look after
Yeah,
those
so
people.
you've been on both sides of the fence, so you understand it fully,
Correct.
right? Tell me,
Correct.
how do you stay motivated and continue, as you're doing, to innovate in your field?
Yeah, probably because because I love what I do, and to put a smile on somebody's face, right? And you sell their property and you get them, like, I'll never forget this one as long as I live. And this lovely couple, and he was going bankrupt, and he had to sell his house, and it was a lovely house. And I remember I put it up for sale, and it was going to auction. And we had an offer before the auction, and they said, yeah, we'll take that.
Yes.
And I did something very dangerous. I said, no, I don't want you to take this. I want you to wait, because I think we're going to do better than that at the auction.
Yes, as you probably will.
And
Yep.
the guy who made the offer, of course, oh, I'm not coming to the auction. And I went, yeah, sure. So, I mean, I knew in my heart that he'll probably get somebody to come and bid. I didn't know for sure, but I was guessing.
Sure. You can feel it. That's right.
Anyway, cut a long story short, he ended up buying it, and he paid, then, this is going back to the 90s, I think about 15,000 more than what he'd offered.
Which is a lot of money.
That was a lot of money then.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this. I walked back into the house, and Claudia came to me and she said, and she grabbed me and she kissed me and said, thank you so much, because they were really needing every penny.
That's right.
And I mean, that's the sort of thing that keeps me spurred and going, because, you know, sadly, my cousin passed away not that long ago, and his two sons were selling. I was helping them sell it. And we got something like $130,000 more for that. You know, that's the sort of motivation that I suppose keeps me going, you know, to do that for people. Yeah.
Tell us about a recent project or a particular achievement that you're particularly proud of.
Yeah, well,
please, Bertram.
There was this apartment in South Yarra, which is next door to Toorak, which is the #1 suburb. And it was an Art Deco building, which is gorgeous, overlooking the park.
Wow.
And I just remember it so well, because it was a beautiful property, but it had a staircase, no lift. It was only 3 levels. And I mean, just to be able to stand by and watch that beautiful building, just, I don't know, that one is so strong in my head. And I had the agent I chose to sell it, Scott, I'd known him for probably 30 years.
Yes.
And he worked in Toorak as well, but he was the one I chose to sell the property for the vendor, and he's a good auctioneer as well. And again, it got more than what the vendor wanted.
Fabulous.
But that building captivated my attention, because it was Art Deco style.
Sure.
Overlooking the
back in the day, that's when they had real builders, right? Real builders back in the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me, Bertram, what advice would you give someone, someone up and coming and aspiring to follow in your footsteps? What advice would you give them, apart from get a mentor, which is obviously very important? What else would you tell them?
The most important thing is, selling is not telling. Selling is asking questions.
Yeah, very good.
And you keep asking questions. And if you're helping somebody to buy something, you can guide them by asking the right questions.
Yes.
If they're selling, if you want to get the property to sell, you have to ask questions again, but not go there and blabber about how good you are.
Verbal diarrhea, yep.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of them do. Whereas I just want to find out what this person wants, because I want to
That's right.
help them and please them. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Why are you selling? How long do you have to sell, et cetera, et cetera. Find
Exactly.
out where they are in the journey. And
Exactly.
the key one, and you're full of it yourself, is integrity. Guys, you got to have, if you're going to do everything in sales, guys, integrity will take you so far, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I can never lie. I don't know.
That's right.
It's just not in me to tell lies.
That's right.
Whereas I'm sitting in the office when I was a real estate agent in an office, you know, and I hear them telling lies, and I'm going, oh.
Yeah,
And
correct.
this guy,
Yeah, I've been there and done
guy
that. I've seen that.
walked up to my desk and said, I made an extra $5,000.
Big deal.
And I said, you're a bloody crook.
Yeah, that's right. That's
You
right.
know, I can't handle it. It's just,
yeah, karma takes care of that, guys. If you look after your people, you know, word of mouth's a very powerful thing, and
very
reputation
much
is
so.
something that takes you like Bertram here. It can take you 50 years to establish, and a couple of weeks to lose it. You know,
Exactly.
So value your reputation, guys. Value your word.
Absolutely. And the other aspect that I've morphed into, I suppose, because being property based, was helping people invest in property. And then I started a business once upon a time where we were helping people by, how would I describe it? By saying they bought wholesale, not retail.
Yes.
So for argument's sake, there's a big block of land. You bring in, say, 10, 15 people or whatever, and you've got 15 blocks of land, say, eventually to develop and sell.
Yep.
So you bring in 15 people or 20 people, and they all put the money in, right? And then you develop it, and then they sell it retail, and they share the profit. Yeah, I mean, that's
awesome.
I mean, they're making like 15% on their money.
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
Yeah, and in some cases with the right properties, even more, guys, even more.
Correct.
You know,
correct.
You got to do your due diligence, and in real estate, guys, quite often it's timing, and location, as they say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In
looking
fact,
ahead,
this morning I was reading that Melbourne's prices are going to jump next year. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I don't believe, you're like me, Daniel, I don't believe the news. You can just feel it. For example, you talked about Baronia. Guys, when you start to see little coffee shops springing up, you know the yuppies are coming, and the poor people are moving out to the next suburb. It's a cycle, guys. Melbourne keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's a cycle. The coffee shops come, which means the yuppies are coming. As soon as you see the yuppies coming, be a yuppie. Get into that property. Get into the area, guys, and just wait your 3 to 5 years. Be patient. As Danny and I discussed earlier, your money you'll double your money within a 7-year period, and if you're lucky, even earlier than that. Right.
As I mentioned to you before when we were chatting, that my first sale in Melbourne was 12,500. That's 1974.
Yes.
And that house today is worth, say, $1 million.
Yes.
It's doubled 7 times in that period of time.
Which is pretty much a rule of thumb, guys.
Yeah, and Melbourne pretty much values increases every 7 years. It doubles.
Yeah, and where the immigrants are coming in, guys, as you probably know, the amount of immigrants coming in versus the amount of houses being built, there's a huge demand, a pent-up demand all the time, right?
Absolutely.
Looking ahead, Bertram, what are your goals and aspirations for the future? You've got a long way to go yet. What's your hopes and aspirations for the future?
Yeah, I think like what I'd really love to do is keep, obviously help people sell, but more importantly, to help people invest.
Yes.
And like, as I say, start with the end in mind.
Yes.
Sit down, let's work the plan.
Yes.
And then to see those people at age 40, right, now
on the right track.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part. And the company that I started years ago, I think is now about 500 clients, you know, who have invested money and they keep coming back to invest in property as well.
Yeah,
which
you're an
is so
amazing
cool.
man, Bertram. Bertram, just show me those books. He was talking to me earlier about a couple of books that Bertram's got here.
Sure. Yes.
And if you'd like a copy of this, guys, reach out at the seven deadly sins when selling your property. Great book, guys. I suggest. Bertram's always up for a cup of coffee, and if you happen to be in the Melbourne area, you can meet him in person and have a chat. And it's going to cost you nothing, guys, just to have just buy him a cup of coffee, and you'll get 50 years worth of knowledge. And I'm sure he'd be happy to put you on the right track. And if he can't help you, he's got people all over the place, guys. His network of people. So he'll put you on the right track and save you time and money.
Absolutely.
Tell me, how can our
too,
another one? That's another beautiful book.
But that's only one chapter out of 12.
Right. Tell me, how can our listeners and viewers reach out and find out more about you? What's the best way?
I'm there on LinkedIn. I'm on social media. I've got my website, 𝐒𝐭𝐫𝐬.com.au. I've got BertramDaniel.com. I've got Property Advocacy Melbourne.
You've got a few there. You've got a few irons in the fire.
Yeah, and I'm available to have a chat.
We're gonna put all Bertram's details, guys, later. We're going to put them across Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube, and you'll be able to see all the social links there and watch this recording and take some notes, guys. If you want to get on the right track, most people who have become multimillionaires in the world, guys, most of them, it's real estate. Even McDonald's, it's not hamburgers, it's real estate.
I mean, I talk to share brokers and people like that who are talking about the share market.
Sure.
And I say, excuse me, you're now talking about something that's manipulated
to
keep the prices up. You can't manipulate property.
That's right. There's supply and demand.
Absolutely.
Tell me, before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Bertram, the drummer.
Yeah, tell me that story.
Oh, well, it's funny because I mean, I look back at my life and I shake my head because I was offered the chance with my band to go to Vietnam to entertain the GIs, and I left school quite happily to do that.
Awesome.
And
probably the best thing that ever happened to you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and music has been so much part of my life as well. So it's been, I mean, I love music, I love people, and what else? What else is there?
It shows, Bertram. Bertram, you've been a wonderful guest. Thank you for being on the show today. So, guys,
thank you for having me.
No trouble, been a pleasure. You're an interesting man. Guys, if you want to be a star on Spotlight for the rest of this month, and what we've done, we've listened to you guys. We've opened up a couple of weeks in July because some of them couldn't make it. You're busy or you're making excuses, whatever it may be, right? So we've got a couple of spots left in July now. So please feel free to reach out. Cost you nothing, and we help make you famous.
Beautiful.
So I'll wrap it up. Thanks very much, Bertram. Been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Keep in touch, huh?
Will do, certainly will.
Thank you.
Thank you.